I did a lot of Google searching like you do when you're anxious. And I think I just maybe just got into this thought pattern that there was something seriously wrong with me because
like a physical condition.
Yeah, because I'd never experienced a panic attack. I'd obviously dealt with anxiety, but I think when you have an anxiety disorder, you become a master at learning all about it. So I think previously I probably thought that I just felt funny. I didn't realize that it was anxiety. So yeah, I definitely thought there's something seriously wrong with me. So I was scared of going to the doctors at the start because I thought, no, I don't want blood tests because it's going to come back. It's going to be something really bad. So I put off going to the doctors. But when I eventually got there and then my bloods came back and they were all perfectly okay, and they said, oh, it's anxiety. It was like, yeah, I was like, oh, it can't be anxiety. What's that sort of thing? So yeah, that was a real eye opener.
I think a lot of people would empathize with that. Your dad just died, and then you're having all these physical symptoms, and you're afraid to go to the doctor because you're like, oh my gosh, maybe something's wrong with me. And anxiety does have these odd symptoms. Like some people have things like they feel like numbing and tingling, or hot or cold flashes, or stomach upset. And anxiety can be very like bodily, right? So you do think something's wrong with you, and then you go to the doctor and they're like, oh, you have anxiety. And they're like, no, check again. There's got to be something, right? I think a lot of people relate to that.
No, definitely. And with anxiety, I always, often people in the community, one of the questions they'll ask is about physical symptoms. So is this anxiety? I often say if you typed in any physical symptom and put the word anxiety after it, it really can produce that. And when I was going through an anxiety disorder, you'd learn the symptoms that you were feeling. So I would know that my heart would start to race. I'd feel a bit disorientated and sweaty palms, etc. But then anxiety would like to throw in another physical symptom out of the mix. And then you'd be like, well, this isn't anxiety. What's this? And then it's just, yeah, it always keeps you guessing. And so many different physical symptoms with it.
It's so sneaky because if you put in one of those symptoms, if you put in like, my foot is tingling,
yes,
Google will be like, you have cancer. It's like, oh my gosh, that's the last thing you want to hear, right?
Yeah.
But that's why it's important to really understand that the mind-body connection, and how what you're experiencing emotionally and in your brain can manifest throughout your body. And so that if you learn how to calm your brain and calm your emotions or regulate it, you can regulate what's happening in your body. And that's so empowering.